Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. Today, we're going to be looking at your very active hurricane season currently that we are ongoing. This is the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of what we've already seen, and I'm going to be talking about why I think we have a lot more still to come this Atlantic hurricane season. We have very, very bad signs if you don't like hurricanes moving, that we are going to have some very, very primed conditions over the Atlantic to see some very, very decent storms move throughout that region. We've already seen a record breaking season up to this point, and it looks like it's probably going to continue. Currently, we're in a bit of a lull in the activity, but that is not going to continue for quite too long. It is going to really ramp up as we start to get into mid to late August and maybe even into early September. So, here is just a look currently at what we have over the Atlantic this 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. This is the tracks of all the storms that we've had so far, and you see most of them have actually been kind of within this corridor from the main development region, which is off the coast of Africa, to off the east coast, where you've had multiple systems move throughout that region. We also did see a couple of storms move throughout the Gulf of Mexico, but the Gulf of Mexico still has a lot still to give. If you have one good storm that can ride throughout the southern Caribbean and then move up through the Gulf of Mexico, you can have a very, very dangerous storm on your hands. And I'll be tracking all these storms as we go throughout the Atlantic hurricane season, so make sure you are subscribed and you have your notifications turned on so you never miss any of my updates on any of these hurricanes or tropical storms. Now, here is currently the predictions for this Atlantic hurricane season, and something to point out, and I'm gonna box in here. Here's the area that in this orange that these are all the predictions that were made before the Atlantic hurricane season officially started, which is June 1st, and we already had at least one storm, I believe, that formed in late May by that point. Now, here in this red region is all the predictions made after the Atlantic hurricane season already started. And if I go back here, here's again all the ones made before the Atlantic hurricane season started, and they averaged around 14 named storms, 15 named storms. If we go down into this red region, we're now averaging around 20 to 21 named storms. We have three different predictions of major institutes that bring this to between 20 and 24 named storms, which would be just four less of the record high activity, which was 2005 in the Atlantic hurricane basin. Now, here is currently some of the records or all the records for every single named storm that we've had in the earliest formation of that named storm. We've already broken 5 out of the 9. We broke the C named storm with Cristobal, the E named storm with Edward. We broke the F named storm with Faye Gonzalo. We broke that with the G named storm, the H named storm with Hannah, and then with the I named storm with Isaias. And that all of those formed before the previous records. Now, we also broke 6 or 5 records from that were held since 2005, and 2005, if you remember, again was the record-breaking season. So we are already earlier or doing even better than the 2005 Atlantic hurricane season, which was the previous record. And if this continues, the next record would be August 23rd, and I think, or the next record would actually be August 22nd with Jose, which was back in 2005 as well. If we can break that, which it looks like we might actually be able to do, then we've also broken the J name storm. Katrina will also be that would definitely be in the a possibility for us to break the K name storm and maybe even the L named storm, with the way that things are gonna start to ramp up as we start to get more favorable environment later into August and the middle portion of August, especially. Now, here is currently just on a graph plotted out when all these storms took place and their strength. Now, we had tropical storm status for most of these storms until we hit late July. That's when we got our first Hurricane Hannah. And then we, of course, had Hurricane Isaias, and we did see both of those late July into early August. Now, let's compare that with 2005. Now, this red line here is currently where we are at. If you were to compare, this is kind of marking July 6th, which is currently the date that I'm making, or August 6th, the date I'm making this, compared to the graph on the top, which is this year. Now, we see they were still just, Irene just formed, which I believe it formed August 4th, and we had Tropical Storm Harvey, which was in the middle of its lifespan. We, by this point, had already completed our I named storm, and we're looking into the future to see maybe we can get our J or K named storm. Now, this orange line here is actually where we were when Isaias formed. So this was back in July 30th when Isaias formed, and we had the F named storm just finished up. The G named storm was already finished, and Harvey was just about to be formed. So we were already ahead of the H named storm and the I named storm, and almost ahead of the F named storm by that point, by the time Isaias had formed. Now, let's start talking about some of these ingredients that are going to be needed for an active hurricane season. We have well above normal sea surface temperatures all throughout, especially the western two-thirds of the tropical Atlantic. We have well above average sea surface temperatures throughout that region. We do see a couple spots where hurricanes had previously tracked through. We see the spot along the east coast, and also a little area where Hurricane Hannah was along. We had Hurricane Isaias, of course, that went through this area, and again, Hurricane Hannah, which went through this area, upwelled some of that warm water and actually used that as energy to fuel the storm, which cooled off those sea surface temperatures. Now, here is your actual sea surface temperatures in Celsius, and they were above 26 degrees for much of this Atlantic area. And when you get above 26 degrees Celsius sea surface temperatures, or 80 degree Fahrenheit sea surface temperatures, that's when you can really get a good, decent hurricane or tropical storm to form. Now, let's start talking about some model guidance. Now, here's currently what we're undergoing. Now, we have some sinking air in this orange, and the green is where the rising air is. And hurricanes, tropical storms really don't like the sinking air. They want that rising air. Now, let's start looking at what this is going to do, what this GFS model is going to do in the long range. Now, you start to see this rising air starts to move a little bit eastward, and the sinking air is starting to break up. Now, over South America, notice we have some rising air. Now, that is going to start to expand, and it's going to start by, this is by the time when you're starting to see this rising air into the Gulf of Mexico, this is by August 10th, Monday, August 10th. Now, this is August 11th, August 13th here, and it's starting to really overtake much of the much of Central America, Northern South America, and much of the Western Atlantic. Here is by Friday, August 14th, and we have well above normal, or we have well below normal rising air. So we have a lot of rising air right here, which is going to help some of these storms to form. And this starts to shift a little bit eastward and also expand a lot more, so that pretty much all the way from the southern tip of South America to the northern pole, we have rising air throughout the entire, all the Americas. Now, here is by August 16th and then August 18th, nearing the end of the model run, and it's still there. This would be by August 20th, August 22nd. This is the final frame, but you do kind of get the point here, which is that we're going to have a lot of rising air, and that is really going to help these storms to form. Now, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.